We begin tonight with the U.S. announcement on its delivery of critical military supplies to Nigeria following Christmas Day strikes targeting militants in the Northwest. This move underscores growing security cooperation between Washington and Abuja. The December 25 strike hit sites in Sokoto State linked to Islamic State group in what Nigerian authorities called a joint operation. U.S. Africa Command said the supplies are intended to support Nigeria's ongoing counterterrorism operation, but gave no further detail. The delivery comes as Nigeria's national security advisor signed a $750,000 per month contract with a U.S. firm to lobby the Trump administration. Joining me now from Abuja to discuss this is a retired Major General Chris Olukolade. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Help us put this in proper perspective. Is this some form of aid by the U.S. government, or Nigeria made it a purchase of those supplies?
Well, good evening, and I think this development can be attributed to recent developments in relation to the promise and commitment on the part of the United States to support Nigeria's military operations against the terrorists operating in different parts of the country. So this should be seen as a furtherance of that commitment, and it's evidently a good development that should be celebrated.
Okay, AFRICOM did not specify what kinds of equipment it had delivered to Nigeria. Is that something we should be concerned about? Is it such a security risk to give a general impression of what the country has gained from the U.S.? So in terms of accountability?
Well, for strategic reasons and even security reasons ordinarily, it is not proper at this time to disclose the details of those equipment that have been delivered in support of the mission. It is good enough that we know that, tangible efforts are on to give bites to the operation. When we see the effect in the field, everybody will be no doubt whatsoever that the equipment have been of value in terms of enhancing the mission of the Nigeria security operations against the terrorists in those parts of the Federation.
Okay, on the one hand, the National Security Advisor is said to have signed some deal per month with a U.S. firm to lobby the Trump administration. So it's concerning. In what ways does this equipment that has been given, coming shortly after the December strikes in Sokoto State, signal recalibration of U.S. Africa Command's operational footprint in this area, when you juxtapose that with the claims that there is a firm being paid to lobby the U.S. president?
Well, that aspect is political, and I am not competent to discuss it, and I think that it has not been made official or public, so it still remains in the realm of speculations. What is of interest at the moment is the fact that the commitment to collaborate with Nigeria in terms of enhancing this mission is being given full bite, and the delivery is tangible enough for us to know that a lot is going on as a follow-up to the earlier interactions between the Nigerian government delegation. That delegation included the Chief of Defense Staff, and so clearly it must have given the kind of the dimension of support required. And if we are seeing tangible actions now, it should be enough for us to know that this relationship is definitely yielding some required results.
Okay, as a security analyst, beside the gift now, I'm putting that in quote because we don't know for a fact if it was a purchase or it was a gift of equipment to Nigeria, what specific areas do you think the Nigerian and U.S. collaboration should be more focused on in this fight against insecurity?
Yeah, particularly in the area of intelligence, and now for more indications kind of equipment that can close gaps, equipment gaps that was disturbing the operation initially. If we continue in this line, there will be definite results. But we think that more of intelligence and technological support in form of intelligence gathering, both in the field and less risk to the troops on ground, and with this kind of dimension. And I think that the Nigerian nation will be able to infuse more boots on ground instruments to kind of enhance what has been achieved or will be achieved in a few days from now by reason of this new equipment. We believe that the gaps that it will be closing make a very, very important input into, terminating the menace of the terrorists in different parts where they operate. With more intelligence, it should give full right to this support.
We're talking about more collaboration between the U.S. and Nigeria. President Trump had earlier warned the U.S. will revisit Nigeria with military action if terrorism is not kept in check. And now we have this military supply delivery to the country. Would you say this indicates a shift in his approach? No more threats, but more of collaboration. And to that end, do you think diplomacy is actually working? Definitely.
Diplomacy is this is the outcome of diplomacy, that they even believe that whatever requires support is required to terminate the menace of terrorism is what they are willing to support, not just the idea of carrying out a direct strike in the country. It means they also endorse the capacity of the nation and the seriousness of the nation to tackle this menace. And for more indications, the partnership, the collaboration is meaningful. And I think it gives some mutual recognition of the capacity of both parties. Definitely, it's not as if the nation was not working, but there were some gaps, which with this relationship, those gaps are being used, and the common interests deal with terrorism across the board. And I think that interest is working.
All right, Major General Chris Olukolade, always a pleasure to have you on the news. Thank you for obliging us.